In 2024, the Red Sea, a crucial artery for global trade connecting East and West, erupted into a multifaceted crisis. This vital waterway, responsible for a significant percentage of the world's commerce, suddenly became a dangerous and unpredictable zone. The implications were far-reaching, threatening to destabilize supply chains and impact economies worldwide. The Houthis, an Iran-backed group entrenched in Yemen, emerged as the primary agitator in this unfolding drama. Their presence and influence had been growing for years, fueled by regional conflicts and external support. They launched a brazen and sustained wave of attacks on international shipping, disrupting maritime traffic and sowing fear among commercial vessels. These attacks were not isolated incidents, but a coordinated campaign designed to exert pressure and achieve strategic objectives. Initially, the Houthis claimed solidarity with Palestinians, framing their actions as a response to the ongoing conflict in Gaza. However, their targeting soon became indiscriminate, affecting vessels with tenuous or no connection to the conflict, raising questions about their true motives and broader agenda. Drones, missiles, and audacious small boat assaults became the Houthis' weapons of choice, demonstrating a surprising level of sophistication and tactical capability. These attacks showcased their ability to project power and disrupt maritime operations in a critical region. This escalating aggression made the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a narrow and strategically vital waterway, a high-risk zone for all maritime traffic. The strait's importance as a choke point amplified the impact of the Houthi attacks, creating a bottleneck in global trade. Faced with unacceptable risks, major shipping companies made the difficult decision to reroute their vessels around Africa, adding thousands of miles and significant time to their journeys. This detour, while ensuring safety, came at a considerable cost. This detour added weeks to shipping times and millions of dollars in fuel and operational costs, impacting businesses and consumers alike. The increased expenses rippled through the global economy, exacerbating existing inflationary pressures. The longer transit times and increased costs triggered significant global supply chain delays and ultimately, noticeable price hikes for a wide range of goods. The disruption highlighted the fragility of the interconnected global economy and its vulnerability to regional conflicts. The Houthis, once perceived as a localized force primarily concerned with internal Yemeni affairs, now held a critical maritime choke point hostage, effectively wielding control over a vital artery of global commerce. Their actions demonstrated a capacity to disrupt international trade far beyond their geographical borders. This newfound ability allowed them to project power and influence far beyond the confines of Yemen, impacting regional stability and international relations. The Houthis had become a significant player on the global stage. In response to the escalating crisis, the US and its allies launched Operation Prosperity Guardian, a multinational naval coalition tasked with providing enhanced security and protection for commercial shipping in the Red Sea. However, despite the increased naval presence, the Houthi attacks persisted, challenging the effectiveness of the operation. The Houthis' unwavering persistence, widely believed to be fueled by material and strategic support from Iran, effectively turned the Red Sea into a new and volatile front in the long-standing US-Iran rivalry, further complicating the already complex geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. While naval patrols provided a degree of deterrence, they alone weren't enough to completely neutralize the threat or guarantee the safety of commercial shipping. The international community increasingly demanded a stronger and more decisive response to address the root causes of the instability and ensure the free flow of commerce. Faced with mounting pressure, the US began seriously considering direct military strikes aimed at neutralizing key Houthi command and control centers, as well as their strategically important weapon depots and missile launch sites. The risk of a wider and more protracted regional conflict loomed large, with potentially devastating consequences for the entire region and beyond. However, inaction in the face of continued attacks and escalating disruption was no longer a viable or acceptable option for the US and its allies. The stage was set for a potential escalation of the conflict, with both sides preparing for a possible confrontation. Washington was carefully weighing its options, understanding that any decision could have far-reaching consequences and potentially reshape the balance of power in the region. The world watched with bated breath as the US prepared to act decisively, knowing that the choices made in the coming days would have a profound impact on global trade, regional security, and the future of the Middle East. As the crisis in the Red Sea deepened, with Houthi attacks on commercial shipping lanes escalating, the situation demanded a decisive response. The stakes were high, and the need for a swift and effective deterrent became paramount. The Pentagon, after careful deliberation, turned to the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, America's most advanced and technologically sophisticated strike aircraft. These aircraft represent a significant investment in national security and are a key component of the United States strategic arsenal. The remote, strategically vital island of Diego Garcia, a secure and well-equipped U.S. base nestled in the heart of the Indian Ocean, became the crucial launchpad and staging area for this carefully orchestrated show of force and resolve. The selection of Diego Garcia underscored its importance as a forward operating base. By April 2025, as tensions reached a boiling point, satellite images, meticulously analyzed by intelligence agencies, revealed the presence of 6 B-2S and their vital supporting KC-135 tankers, strategically positioned on the tarmac, a clear indication of an imminent operation. This deployment represented nearly a third of the entire B-2 fleet, a substantial commitment of resources that signaled the gravity of the situation. This unprecedented deployment, involving a significant portion of the B-2 bomber force, unequivocally underscored the seriousness with which the United States viewed the Houthi threat and its destabilizing actions in the region. Diego Garcia's geographical isolation and robust security perimeter provided a critical layer of protection, safeguarding the bombers from potential attacks. Furthermore, the location allowed them to approach Yemen from unexpected and less predictable directions, maximizing the element of surprise and leveraging the B-2's inherent stealth capabilities. The logistical effort required to support this deployment was immense and complex, involving hundreds of highly skilled personnel, tons of specialized equipment, and a meticulously planned supply chain to ensure operational readiness. The B-2's imposing presence on Diego Garcia sent a clear and unambiguous message. The United States possessed the capability and the will to strike any target anywhere in the world at any time with devastating precision. This strategic move was not an isolated event but rather an integral part of a broader military buildup and posture adjustment in the region, with advanced F-35 fighter jets and battle-hardened A-10 Warthogs strategically reinforcing other key regional bases, further enhancing the U.S. ability to respond to any contingency. While the immediate focus was on deterring the Houthis' aggressive actions, the deployment wasn't solely about addressing that specific threat. It also served as a stern warning to Iran, signaling the limits of its regional ambitions and its support for destabilizing forces. The United States effectively demonstrated its unwavering ability to project overwhelming military power and maintain a credible deterrent posture across the entire Middle East region. Diego Garcia, with its advanced communication infrastructure and strategic location, rapidly became the nerve center and command hub for a new and potentially more assertive phase in the ongoing conflict. The B-2 Spirit is a marvel of stealth technology designed to be nearly invisible to radar. Its flying wing shape and radar-absorbent materials allow it to slip through the world's toughest air defenses undetected. With a range of over 6,000 nautical miles and the ability to carry 40,000 pounds of precision-guided munitions, the B-2 can strike targets across the globe from secure bases. Its advanced avionics and GPS targeting ensure pinpoint accuracy, even in adverse conditions. Deploying the B-2 against the Houthis was a message to all adversaries. No facility is truly safe. The bomber's unique blend of stealth, range, and payload made it the weapon of choice for this high-stakes mission. The B-2's true power lies in its arsenal, especially its bunker-busting bombs. The Houthis hid their command centers and missile stockpiles deep underground, beyond the reach of standard munitions. Enter the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, a 30,000-pound bomb capable of smashing through hundreds of feet of reinforced concrete. Only the B-2 can deliver this weapon, obliterating even the most fortified Houthi sites. The strike sent a clear message to Iran and others. The U.S. can destroy deeply buried targets anywhere. Precision-guided bombs allowed planners to match weapons to targets, maximizing impact while minimizing collateral damage. October 2024 marked the B-2's first combat mission against the Houthis, a major escalation. The U.S. shifted from defensive naval patrols to offensive airstrikes, targeting the heart of Houthi operations. High-value command centers and weapon depots were hit with precision, aiming to cripple the group's ability to threaten shipping. The psychological impact was immense. Nowhere was safe for Houthi leaders. These initial sorties validated the concept. B-2S could strike Yemen with impunity from Diego Garcia. The world took notice, recognizing a new chapter in asymmetric warfare. For the Houthis and Iran, it was a direct challenge from America's most advanced weapon. The precedent was set for a larger campaign to follow. The B-2's ghostly presence changed the conflict's dynamics overnight. The stage was set for an intensive bombing campaign. When Houthi attacks intensified, the U.S. launched Operation Rough Rider in March 2025, the largest regional operation of Trump's second term. B-2S led the offensive, striking Yemen's most fortified targets: underground bunkers, weapon caches, and command centers. Over 8 weeks, at least 40 major air raids battered Houthi strongholds in Sana'a and Sada. The relentless pace aimed to overwhelm and dismantle the Houthi network. Civilian casualties in Sana'a highlighted the risks of urban airstrikes, even with precision weapons. The Houthis' tactic of hiding assets among civilians complicated the campaign. Each B-2 mission required hours of flight, multiple refuelings, and precise coordination. The U.S. demonstrated unmatched long-range strike capability. For 2 months, the skies over Yemen belonged to the B-2S. The campaign was a test of American power and its limits. Despite the B-2's immense power and technological superiority, a symbol of modern air warfare, its deployment revealed some uncomfortable truths. The reality on the ground was far more complex than anticipated. The campaign against the Houthis exposed critical intelligence gaps, highlighting a significant disconnect between technological capabilities and actionable information. The ability to gather accurate and timely intelligence proved to be a major challenge. Pinpointing Houthi bunkers, command centers, and weapons caches became a frustrating and often fruitless endeavor. The terrain itself, rugged and mountainous, aided the Houthis in their efforts to conceal their assets, and verifying the contents of these suspected locations proved even more difficult. The intelligence picture was often incomplete or misleading, leading to wasted resources and missed opportunities. As a result, many strikes may have hit empty or decoy sites, expending expensive munitions on targets of little or no strategic value. This raised serious questions about the effectiveness of the air campaign. The Houthis excelled at concealment, dispersal, and deception, employing sophisticated camouflage techniques and exploiting the local environment to their advantage. They were adept at using tunnels and moving assets constantly, making it incredibly difficult to track and target their forces effectively. This constant movement and adaptation frustrated attempts to establish a clear picture of their operational capabilities. This cat-and-mouse game limited the effectiveness of even the most advanced bombs, highlighting the challenges of engaging a mobile and elusive enemy in a complex environment. The Houthis' decentralized structure, with its emphasis on local autonomy, allowed them to absorb losses and keep fighting, even in the face of sustained aerial bombardment. Their resilience was a testament to their deep roots within the local population. They shot down several U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drones, a significant blow to U.S. intelligence gathering efforts in the region, scoring propaganda victories and denying the U.S. valuable surveillance capabilities, further complicating the already challenging operational environment. The loss of these drones hampered the ability to monitor Houthi activities. These losses highlighted the risks and costs of high-tech warfare, demonstrating that even the most advanced technology is vulnerable in the face of determined resistance and effective countermeasures. The campaign showed that air power alone couldn't defeat a deeply entrenched, adaptive enemy operating in complex terrain and enjoying significant local support. The Houthis' resilience forced a reassessment of U.S. strategy, prompting a reevaluation of the assumptions underlying the air campaign. Technology was not a silver bullet, and the limitations of relying solely on technological superiority became painfully clear. The conflict became a lesson in the limits of precision bombing, demonstrating that even the most accurate weapons can be rendered ineffective by poor intelligence and a determined enemy. Even the most advanced military can be stymied by a determined, well-prepared foe who is willing to adapt and exploit vulnerabilities, highlighting the enduring importance of human factors in warfare. The B-2 campaign came with a staggering price tag, nearly $1 billion in just 3 weeks. Each mission required costly refueling, maintenance, and multi-million-dollar munitions. Despite the expense, the Houthis continued attacks and shot down several $30 million MQ-9 drones. lawmakers questioned whether using billion-dollar bombers against low-tech adversaries was sustainable. The asymmetric cost exchange favored the Houthis, who spent little to inflict huge costs on the US. These losses, both financial and tactical, fueled debate over the campaign's effectiveness. The high price made the operation politically and economically unsustainable. The US faced a classic dilemma of modern warfare: overwhelming force but diminishing returns. The search for a diplomatic solution became urgent. After nearly 2 months of bombing, the US shifted strategy as costs soared and results lagged. Oman-Brokered a ceasefire, announced on May 6, 2025, ending Operation Rough Rider. The US began drawing down forces, sending B-52s home and replacing them with less costly bombers. The focus returned to naval patrols aiming to secure shipping lanes under a fragile peace. The ceasefire's terms were ambiguous. The Houthis insisted it didn't apply to their conflict with Israel. Israel's own strikes in Yemen added new volatility to the region. The US-Houthi ceasefire separated American objectives from broader regional conflicts. The Houthis survived, claiming victory against a superpower and boosting their reputation. The ceasefire was a pause, not a resolution. Core issues remained unresolved. The Red Sea's future security was left uncertain. Both sides regrouped, wary of what might come next. The 2025 B-2 campaign showcased America's unmatched global strike power, but also its limits. The ability to hit any target anywhere was a warning to adversaries like Iran and North Korea. Yet, the Houthis' resilience and use of asymmetric tactics exposed the limits of air power against non-state actors. Intelligence gaps and high costs raised questions about the sustainability of such operations. The campaign highlighted the need for better intelligence and more cost-effective tools, like advanced drones and loitering munitions. Ultimately, the operation was a show of force that failed to deliver a decisive victory. The lessons learned will shape US strategy in future conflicts. In a world of complex threats, technology alone is never enough.